Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make complete edit in Filmora that look just like After Effects. Make sure to stick around until the end. Before we dive in, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. Alright, I won't keep you waiting any longer. Let's jump into Filmora and get started. Alright guys, first things first, we need to find some high-quality scene packs. I recommend checking out these 3 sources, where you can find great scene packs for free. Once you've found the packs you need, download them and import them into Filmora. For this tutorial, I'm using scene packs from the Deep character in The Boys TV series. Next, you can start building your edit by selecting the clips you want to use. Here's the start scene I used for this edit. So I face tracked it using After Effects, but if you want to do face tracking in Filmora, you'll need to use keyframes. I know it can be time consuming, but it's the only way to achieve it in Filmora. Also, I've previously made a video on how to do head tracking in Filmora, with some tips on getting smooth results. Be sure to check that out later in this video. Alright, once you've created the start scene, you can use the scene packs to find the clips you need for your edit. After selecting your clips, bring them all onto a single layer like this. You'll notice that all the clips are at normal speed, so the next step is to slow them down. To do this, select all your clips and go to the speed settings. Then I usually reduce the speed to around 0.2. This slower speed makes it easier to add a speed ramp later on. Then to smooth out the slow motion, change the interpolation to optical flow. Next, go to the project settings and ensure your frame rate is set to 60 FPS. Now you should have smooth slow motion clips like this. Then you'll need to export these clips one by one, with keeping the original resolution and with the 60 FPS. And that's how I set up clips for edits in Filmora. There's also another method you can use. For that, we need to use Topaz Video Enhancer. Here's how to do that. First, set the clip speed back to normal. Then, export the clips one by one with the original resolution and original frame rate from your scene pack. Once that's done, open Topaz Video Enhancer, so you can get Topaz through the link in my Discord. Then add all your clips to Topaz, so I'll add this one as an example. So then go to the settings panel and copy my settings. After that, click Start Processing to export the clips. So here's the slow motion difference between Filmora and Topaz. You can choose whichever method works best for you. Alright guys, once everything is set up, open Filmora and get start editing. So first I add my audio clip to the timeline. Then let's set the resolution and frame rate. For this edit, I'm using a resolution of 1600 by 1400 with 60 FPS. Also, you can use these resolution settings for your edits as well. Next, we need to mark the audio beats in our audio layer. So I do it like this. Once the beats are marked, it's time to add our clips. I start by adding my start scene to the timeline. Now let's adjust the audio. I select here in the audio clip and reduce the volume to around -20. Then at the end of the clip, I bring the volume back up to 0. Okay, then we need to add our clip, so I add them like this. Then we need to match these clips to the audio beats, using a speed ramp. So here's how to do it. First, select the clip and go to the speed setting. Choose speed ramp, and then select customize. In the graph, I bring the start point up to about 2x speed, and do the same at the end. Then I remove both of these points to smooth it out. Now it should look something like this. Then you'll need to repeat this process for each of your clips. So I do it like this. After that, go back to the speed settings, and make sure to apply optical flow to all your clips. Alright guys, now that we've completed the speed ramping, let's move on to the transitions. For this edit, I'll be using zoom in and zoom out transitions. So let's start with the zoom in transition. First, select your clip, and open the crop tool. Then switch to pan and zoom. After that, we need to adjust the resolution to match our edit's resolution. So go to the ratio setting, and select custom. So my edit resolution is 1600 by 1400, but I'll set it to 1800 by 1600, because it need to fill both the top and bottom without leaving any empty spaces. Then I place the start area like this. Okay, for the end, I'll use a resolution of 900 by 800 and position it accordingly. Let's check how it looks. It seems too fast, so I'll adjust the end size to something like 1180 by 1080. So that looks much better. So after that, click apply. After adding the zoom, you might notice some empty areas appearing. If that happens, just increase the clip scale slightly to fill those gaps. Now I want to add a subtle speed effect at the start and end of the clip using scale. First, create a keyframe at the start and set the scale to the default value. Then move forward 15 frames and increase the scale to 110. Then at the end of the clip, move 15 frames backward and create a keyframe. Then, go to the end and change the scale to 120. After that, go to the keyframe panel, select the middle keyframes, and apply an ease out curve to smooth out the transition. And that's it for the zoom in transition. So here's how it looks. Next, apply this zoom in effect to your other clips. So you can do that simply copying and pasting the effect like this. After that, adjust the pan and zoom areas for each clip to ensure they look just right. Alright, now let's create the zoom out effect. Start by copying the zoom in clips and pasting them where you want the zoom out effect to begin. First, select your clip. Open the crop tool again. And this time, click this button to swap the start and end boxes. This will give you a zoom out effect like this. Then click apply. Then let's adjust the keyframes. Set the first keyframe scale to 120 and the end keyframe scale to 103. And that's how you create the zoom out effect. Then repeat this process for the other clips. Okay, now our zoom transitions are done. Then you can add your outro. So I'll add mine like this. Finally, let's enhance the edit with some effects. So in here I'm going to add a shake effect, a water ripple effect, and a flash effect. So go to the Effects tab, and for the shake effect, I'm using the extreme effect, so I add to the timeline. For the water ripple effect, I'll use this Ripple Shake 2 effect. And also I use this water ripple overlay, which you can download from the link in the description. Now I'll adjust these effects, so you can follow my steps. Then I like to add the red and white flash effect, so I add it like this. And that's it. We've created the water ripple shake effect. So here's how it looks. Alright, next I want to add a similar effect to this part as well. So I've applied it like this. Additionally, I'm adding a dot texture and flicker effect to enhance this section, which I'll do like this. Now that the dot texture is done, let's add the flicker effect. After that, I'm going to include a VHS glitch effect. For that, I'll use an overlay for this. You can download it from the link in the description. Next, I'll add a white flash effect by copying and pasting it like this. Now that we've completed the second effect, so then it's time to add my channel name here. Before that, I need to apply the water ripple shake effect, flash effect, and dot texture. So I'll copy those effects and paste them here. Then I'll adjust the dot texture slightly. Now let's add the channel name. So here's the text effect I'm using. You can create a similar effect easily. So it's made up of a few text layers with different fonts. I've applied a zoom out transition and the flicker effect, as well as the VHS static 1 glitch effect, and the glitch overlay we used earlier. Once your text effect is ready, simply copy these layers, and I paste them where I needed. Now that's done. Also, I'll finish it off by adding the white flash effect. With that, we've completed this effect. Now we need to add another effect here. For that, I'll reuse the second effect we made earlier, so I've added it like this. I'll also copy and paste the second and third effects right here. Finally, I want to add a glitch transition at this point. So go to the Transitions tab, select Glitch, and I add this glitch transition there. then set the duration to 40 milliseconds. I'll also add the white flash effect to wrap it up. Alright guys, the editing part is complete. Here's how it looks. Next, I want to fade out the music at the end, so I'll drag the point like this. Now, let's move on to the text effect part. Alright, let's start by selecting your clip or audio layer. Right-click and choose the speech to text option. Then simply copy these settings and hit OK. Now we have our text layers, which you can customize as needed. After customizing it, it should look like this. You'll notice that I've split these layers into several parts so that you can adjust them as needed. I used the Utah bold font for the text style, which you can download from the link in the description. Next, I'll show you the animations I used for these texts. For all the text layers, I used the string blur animation for both the in and out animations. I adjusted the duration according to the clip, as you can see here. For some text layers like this one, I used the Fade 1 effect for the out animation. For another text layer where the text randomly disappears, I applied the Random 2 animation. I also extended the layer slightly so that when the first line ends, the second line begins seamlessly, creating a cool effect. Here, I added a 3D text layer that you can customize as needed. I'll show you the animation I used for this text later. Now, let's move on to the next part, where we need to add a zoom in animation to these layers. To do this, select all the text layers, except for the 3D text layer. Go to Multiple, select Animation and change it to Preset Motion. Then, add the Fade Zoom in animation. Now our text looks like this.
You doing here? Homelander is sick of you. Bro, said to put you out of your misery.
What do you want, Dave?
Justice, you...
Next, let's add some effects to these text layers. First, we need to convert these layers into compound clips. Select the text layer and press Alt+G to create a compound clip. Now let's add our effects. The first effect I'll add is the glow effect. Go to the Effects tab, select Boris FX plus Light, then choose the BCC plus Glow effect and apply it to the first layer. In the Effects settings, select Glow and increase the brightness as needed, so I set it to 400. Then, go to Color Correction and set the brightness to 30 and contrast to 20. Lower the temperature to get a nice orangey color. You can adjust the colors further using these settings. Finally, go to the matte settings and adjust the position like this. So, that's the first text effect, a normal glow effect. Then I'm going to apply the same effect to this other text layer by simply copying and pasting the effect. Then, I'll change the text color to white by resetting the temperature value. If the glow seems too strong, you can adjust the glow brightness like this. Alright, for these text layers, I'm going to apply different effects, like the glow rays effect. Let's dive into how to create that. First, go to the Effects tab, select the BCC plus rays effect, and add it to the layer. Next, head to the Effects tab, and select FX Editor. Then you can adjust the ray effect using the center point, but I'll keep it at the default setting. Then hit Apply. Now, let's fine-tune the settings. So I start by increasing the ray length to 100. Adjust the brightness to your preference. Then add a slight blur, around 5, and set the threshold value to about 3. Leave the other settings at their default values. Now that we've created the glow rays effect, I'll apply it to the second line by copying and pasting the effect. Now we have a nice glow rays effect across both text layers. Alright, next, I'm going to add a glow effect to these text layers. So I do it like this. Okay, so for this text, I'm going to create a cool effect using an overlay on the text, so let's walk through that. First, enter the compound clip. Then add the overlay, which you can download through the link in the description. Increase the scale slightly. Then go to compositing, and change the blend mode to darken. This gives our text a nice texture effect. Once that's done, go back to the main timeline and apply the same process to the other layer. To remove the black areas from this text effect, go to the Effects tab, search for Remove Black Background, and apply it to the text layers. Now that the black areas are removed, I'll add the glow effect by copying and pasting it like before. It looks perfect. Next, I'll add a standard glow effect to these text layers as well, like this. For this particular text layer, I'm going to combine the texture effect with the glow rays effect, creating a unique look. These are the text effects I used for this edit. You can apply these effects to your other text layers as well. After adding the effects, here's the final result.
What are you doing here? Homelander is sick of your shit, bro. Said to put you out of your misery.
What do you want, Dave?
Justice, you God, I'm going to enjoy this so much. First, you try to cancel me. Victimize an innocent man, because I guess that's just cool to do to white guys nowadays. But joke's on you. Me Too's over, sweetheart. It didn't work. Wah, wah, wah.
Now that we've covered the text effects, let's move on to the 3D text effect. You can see I've already added the animations for this text. For the in and out animations, I used these specific effects. Next, I need to reverse this animation. So I'll change this layer to a compound clip by pressing Alt+G. Then, go to the speed settings and set it to reverse. To make the zoom in effect faster, I'll create a simple zoom in animation using the scale like this. I'll do the same for the end, but this time I'll use a transition. So go to the transitions, select the Warp Zoom 3 transition, and apply it to the layer. And there you have it. The effect is complete. So here's how it looks.
Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah.
Alright, everything is looking great so far. Next, let's enhance the quality using Topaz. First, we need to hide or move the text layers. First, I add a marker here. Then select all your text layers and move them out of the way like this. This leaves us with just the effects in the edit. Now, add a selection for the export. Move the playhead to the end of your timeline and press the O key to set the out point. Don't forget to mute all audio and sound effects, as Topaz can sometimes affect audio quality. Next, delete the preview render files. Go to Files, and choose Delete Preview Render Files. With that done, we'll export the video. Go to Export, change the format to MOV, and then access the settings. Set the quality to higher, and adjust the bitrate to between 80,000 and 150,000. This higher bitrate helps Topaz optimize the video quality. So here I use 150,000. Ensure that compression quality is set to none, and leave the audio settings as default since we've muted the audio. After that, click Export. And once the export is complete, open Topaz Video Enhancer. Then import your exported video into Topaz. Now, let's adjust the setting. So I use my latest Topaz settings, which you can copy directly. Then you can see the preview. After that, click Start Processing to export the enhanced video. Once Topaz has finished processing, go back to Filmora, reposition your text layers, and unmute the sounds. Then move your edit back in the timeline. And add the Topaz enhanced video to Filmora like this. Alright guys, we're now in the final step, adding color correction to perfect our edit. Shift all the text layers up by one layer, and add an adjustment layer to handle the color correction. For this edit, I'm using 4K quality color correction. First, we need to add sharpening. Go to the Effects tab, select Luma Sharp, and apply it to the adjustment layer. In the Effects settings, keeping the default settings. Next, let's apply color effects. Go to Filters, and choose Cinematic. First, add the Movie 1 filter. Then add Movie 3 filter. In the Effects settings, adjust the Protect Skin Tone value to 20 for the Movie 3 filter, and reduce the opacity to 50 for the Movie 1 filter. After setting up the color effects, add a glow effect. Go to the Effects tab and select Boris FX plus Light, and apply the BCC plus Glow Edges effect to the adjustment layer. In the Effects settings, set the glow brightness to 75 and reduce the edge brightness to 8. To enhance the edge glow, we need to use another effect. So go to the new Blue FX, select Filters. Then select the diffusion effect and add it to the adjustment layer. Then go to the Effects settings and set blur to 25, glow to 60, ambience to 0, and dim to 30. Then change the blend mode to screen and increase the blend value to 25. This will give your edit a nice edge glow look. Alright guys, now our edit is complete. Render your video to preview the final result. After rendering, it might look blurry and lose some details like this. But don't worry, this won't affect the final export. So when you delete preview render files, the video will return to its original quality like this. For the final export, add a selection as before. Go to the export settings and change the format to MP4. Set the quality to higher and adjust the bitrate to 150,000. Keep the compression quality to none and adjust the audio settings as needed. Once everything is set, hit the Apply button, and then click the Export button to finalize your video. And that's it. That's how I make edits using Filmora. I hope you enjoyed this complete edit tutorial. If you could give this video 500 likes, I'll bring another complete edit tutorial like this one. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Your support really motivates me to create more exciting tutorials and edits. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next video.